1.21 gigawatts. That's what it would take in order to power this thing forward after so many times that it's been shut down and even just like brushed aside in the past.
Whoa!
All right, guys, everyone has been asking for a sequel to Back to the Future. We got the musical, we got the Broadway production. People have been asking for Back to the Future 4, to which the producers, the writers, and directors have said, F you, anytime that they're asked on the red carpet or anywhere else out in public. So there is some news, though, and this is actually coming from Bob Gale, one of the co creators of the franchise. So let's go into this because we might be getting it on our PCs. Don't know about consoles yet. Back to the Future creator Bob Gale is announcing that there's a new video game installment. Oh my goodness. Now, this is a franchise that they have kept pretty much under wraps and untouched because they knew that Hollywood would completely screw it up if they let people put their filthy little fingers in it. So, they've kept it very safe to the chest, and it will only, if anything does happen from it, it will only be from the people who actually created it because Robert Zemeckis is good at that too. He definitely doesn't want his stuff bastardized. So Bob Gale broke the news himself, and he co-created the franchise. And though details are currently scarce, we're just going to go into this right now. Few film franchises have left as lasting an impact on pop culture as Back to the Future. Against all odds, it's retained its devoted fan base because it hasn't been screwed with. That's exactly the reason why why it has kept its fan base. It's because it hasn't had that Ghostbusters 2016 or Ghostbusters Afterlife moment. Thank God. Please don't let it happen. So the franchise co-creator Bob Gale has revealed that the new video game is being developed, and this comes from comicbook.com, and this is something he's been eager to see happen for quite some time. Good, because that means he's still in creative control. Hell yes with that. We've got a shot at a new video game based on Back to the Future. I don't want to tell you anymore because I'm not allowed to. So if it's based on Back to the Future, I would have to assume that, and this is where speculation comes in. Would you try to get the actual voice actors? Because Christopher Lloyd is on his last legs in life. Respect to the man, but he is not long for this world. Michael J. Fox, he's made, I wouldn't say it a recovery, but he's been doing pretty well. I wonder if you could get him back to do like to voice Marty, or if they're even going in that way, because Bob is not going to be like giving us any details on this. So this is where the speculation starts, and this is the most fun part of it all. Before we actually have leaks, and then we either get super excited or super irritated and pissed off. I don't want to tell you any more than that because I'm not allowed to, but this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Knock on wood that it will happen. And therein is another tell. Knock on wood that it will happen, which means he's trying to get the ball rolling. But I guess they are in talks. I think maybe just the ink isn't put on the paper yet to sign the contracts to get the distributors and the people who are going to be animating and producing all this. Maybe they don't have a company yet that's going to like basically distribute it, but they've got their story. They've got everything in place. They are in talks. It's just which one is just chomping at the bit to pick up this IP. I can't even say which company that I would like to see it or I would trust to see it. It's like I don't trust any of them anymore. My favorite ones have all gone to crap with DEI stuff. And yeah, but Bob Gale and the other co-creators, they seem like they are very protective of this IP. So I would trust their judgment. They're doing their due diligence and talking to people behind the scenes. So whoever is going to do it, because the last time they had it in Telltale Games was an episodic series from 2010. Now, granted, that was 15 years ago. Can you believe that? And the Telltale Games are they're basically walkthroughs. They're like cinematic, very, I wouldn't even say interactive. They're slightly interactive, but just cinematic video games. And they actually did really good. They did really great with their storytelling. So I would hope it's not a Telltale game. I would hope it's something that's more interactive so we could play it a lot more, because I think, okay, I'm not going to say it's going to do better than GTA 6, but this will have a huge following if it goes the way that everyone hopes that it does. The franchise has also expanded to board games, and they've done some stuff. They've done some stuff, but they are not doing a Back to the Future 4. Now, as mentioned earlier, when Hollywood decides to reboot a franchise, it usually ends in disaster, and that's why Bob Gale and I think Robert Zemeckis himself actually said it, that they've been shooting down these rumors for years because every time they get asked, they literally say "fuck you," and you can quote me on this. Absolute Chads. Thank you. Keep it that way because not all, but most of our beloved franchises and IPs have been completely barefucked to death by Hollywood at this point, just trying to get a little extra crash grab. They don't care about the lore. They don't care about the stories. They don't even care about the next generation. They just care about that short-term profit that they hope they can get from tugging on heartstrings, pulling on your ball sack, maybe giving a little fiddle, and you will pay out the money for it. You'll leave it on the dresser and they will fucking take your wallet and leave. You never hear from them again. That's what they've been doing in freaking Hollywood for the golly, how many years has it been now? At least 10. At least 10 to 12 to 13 to 14. And we're tired of it. And at least these guys have their eyes open. So they're just like, we're actually very proud of this IP. You're not going to rake it over the coals with a P somewhere. Now, the musical has been hailed as a fantastic play with phenomenal lighting effects. There have been a lot of people that actually really, really enjoy it, but some fans disliked it because of the last thing that he put at the end of it. The finale even had a dig at Hollywood remakes with George McFly stating that his latest book, Back to the Future 4, would never become a movie. So that is blatantly in your face. Nah, we ain't doing that stuff. Let sleeping dogs lie. Let them rest in peace. Or let them live forever without someone trying to like poke them from the other side. This was more than likely Bob Gale's way of telling Hollywood to back down. And this is why I said this at the beginning of this, is because Master of the TDS, who I think follows me, I'm pretty sure I follow him too. We've talked a couple times, and he has this tweet right here. Time circuits on, flux capacitor fluxing, wallet status open. And I think that's how we all feel about this. At least that's how I feel about it, because I freaking love those movies. You put a time machine in a DeLorean? Now, there isn't much more to go on right now, but what we do have is the co-creator himself coming out and saying, yes, we're pushing this forward. Yes, I am behind it. Yes, we are going to stay true to the lore and make a story, and we want to make a badass video game for you guys. The people who have been asking for years, we ain't going to do a movie. We're not doing another musical. What we want to do is let this live on for the next generation. The next generation, if you haven't noticed, a lot of things that we talk about all the time is gaming. Gaming is all over the place from old to very young. So that's the way you enrapture the next generation with the Back to the Future story. You always have the movies, those are freaking timeless. But now you can introduce people to the video games for people that don't want to sit down for movies. Funny how that works. They'll sit down for like 15 hours of a video game, but won't sit down for an hour and a half long movie. But we take what we can get because we absolutely love this franchise. I'm just speaking for myself. If you guys have anything to say, let it down in the comment section below. This is Malty from the GCA. We appreciate y'all so much. And yes, join our Discord. We've got the short bus. It's driven by Jay. That is Drunk 3P over there. He drives our Discord short bus. He's never in there, but that's probably why it goes off the rails all the time, because he's not at the wheel. But if feel free to join the channel, feel free to join anything. We are welcome and opening to everyone, but you will get called gay. This is Malty. Y'all have a great day. Take care and goodbye. Also, I just want to take a little aside. Raven Redgrave, are you the Raven in the writing desk from the GCA chat? Not the GCA chats, but the Geeks and Gamers chats. Also, I noticed this because there's something at the end, Master of TDS. Anyway, just wanted to shout y'all out, because if y'all do work for that Park Place, I did not know that. But hail to you.